debates are for, and it's not for the chair to make these decisions. Waiting very patiently, we now come to the 10-minute rule bill. Tonia Antoniazzi.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to require police officers and certain employees of police forces to declare a membership of or affiliation to certain types of society and organisation, to require such declarations to be accompanied by a statement relating to that membership and for connected purposes. Secret or closed or private societies have often been the subject of ridicule. From Monty Python to The Simpsons, these organisations have been seen as silly, strange, perhaps old-fashioned, and even today we hear reference to the funny handshake club. However, look beyond the parodies, Madam Deputy Speaker, and you find networks of those with power and authority. Clubs of like-minded individuals that look out for their own. We know that these networks exist in areas of public life. Here in the UK, our policing model relies on public trust and consent. And at the heart of the Pelian principles of policing is the idea that public consent is maintained by applying the law fairly and impartially. The College of Policing's Code of Ethics states that to demonstrate they are applying the law fairly, police forces should operate with transparency. The Casey report into culture at the Metropolitan Police states the checks and balances provided by robust scrutiny, governance and accountability are vital for public bodies, perhaps especially the police with their duties towards and powers over the public. The IOPC's 2023 report into public perceptions of the police identified increased transparency as a key measure the police could take to improve confidence in policing. With these words in mind, I am seeking to bring forward a bill that at its heart provides more transparency to the public. The outcome of this bill would be to have a public register of associations for all officers and civilians working for the police. Now, this is not a particularly new idea in this House. In 1997, the Home Affairs Committee published its report, Freemasonry in the Police and the Judiciary, in which it concluded that we recommend that police officers, magistrates, judges and Crown prosecutors should be required to register membership of any secret society and that they should be held publicly available. In February 1998, the Home Office accepted this recommendation, stating that all new appointments shall have as a condition of appointment a requirement to declare membership of the Freemasons. The influence of Freemasonry on the police has often been discussed over the decades. Suggestions of influence in high-profile cases of police corruption and mismanagement have been shot down due to a lack of evidence. And, Madam Deputy Speaker, whilst I am not here to throw accusations, it's the continuous mention of Freemasonry raises many eyebrows, even in this House. And whilst I've used the Freemasonry as an example here, the bill does not apply to this particular society. After all, old boys' clubs have always existed within the police, and they can take many shapes. The Casey report into culture at the Metropolitan Police highlighted the use of WhatsApp groups, closed groups of like-minded individuals looking out for their own. Sound familiar? Policing culture has rightly been under heavy scrutiny in recent years. Allegations of misogyny, racism and homophobia have stuck in the public conscience alongside claims of corruption and collusion. The government, along with policing bodies, have committed to reform and a number of inquiries and reviews have taken place. But, Madam Deputy Speaker, if we are serious about reforming police culture, and I think we should be, then we must leave no stone unturned. And this bill serves to act as one of those many stones in need of turning. I must stress that this bill is not seeking to prevent memberships to societies. Not at all, Madam Deputy Speaker. And I am acutely aware of the right of association and previous precedent that has been set for this in the ECHR. But we in this House work cross-party. The issue is a policing one, not a party political one. I thank my colleagues who have sponsored this bill, who come from three different parties in this House. I have spoken to so many people about this. It's a conversation I enjoy having, because they believe, as I do, that something needs to be done. But many don't dare to speak out. So I am here speaking out once again about reforming culture within an organisation. And I know the change that can be made when people speak up. Having previously set my attention on the Welsh Rugby Union, which has been well documented. And I believe and I think that we can make that important change happen within the police too in this House. The Police Regulations Act of 2003 states, "No restriction other than those designed to secure the proper exercise of the functions of a constable shall be imposed by the police authority or the chief officer on the private life of members of a police force." Schedule 1, Regulation 6 of the Act states, "A member of a police force shall at times abstain from any activity which is likely to interfere with the impartial discharge of his duties or which is likely to give rise to the impression amongst members of the public that it may so interfere." I believe that a balance needs to be struck between these two statements in a way that is still in line with both of them. In 2016, the Police and Crime Commissioner for South Wales told Arbida Bedwar, a Welsh TV news programme for those who don't know, if members of a club or society have to disclose, it takes away any hidden agendas. And it would be best to have one common system for local authorities, police force and health boards. Only then can we ensure that everybody is being treated equally. Madam Deputy Speaker, for 20 years I was a teacher subject to a DBS check but not a register of interests, as I am now as a Member of Parliament. I feel very strongly about the significance and role of culture within organisations, particularly in public services. All organisations have a responsibility to change their culture for the better by being honest and transparent about matters relating to governance and day-to-day operations. Of course, one might argue that if such declarations should be made in the police, then they should be made by Members of Parliament. Given that we are lawmakers, Madam Deputy Speaker, to them I say, why not? At its inception, members of the Welsh Assembly, as it was then, were required to declare if they were Freemasons and face criminal charges if they were found to be a member and had not declared as such. But when they were advised that this may be in conflict with human rights law, the Assembly looked again at their policy, and now members of the Senate are required to make declarations of membership of any society and organisation. Madam Deputy Speaker, this seems an incredibly sensible approach. Being part of societies can be inherently positive in enhancing friendship, fostering new connections and fundraising. However, if there is the potential for membership of a group or society to be used in protecting individuals from consequences and in hiding the truth, this must be addressed. Restoring trust in the police is a monumental task, but I'm under no illusions that this bill is not a magic wand. Transparency is absolutely essential to that task. As lawmakers, it is in our power to make change happen, changes that allow for trust in the police to grow. To quote from the Home Affairs Committee report in 1998, The Freemasonry and Public Life, the solution is a simple one. It requires no bans or prescriptions, which generally have no place in a democratic society. It merely requires public servants who are members of a secret society or a society with secrets, as Freemans used to say, to disclose their membership. So, Madam Deputy Speaker, now is the time to move beyond secrecy. Thank you.
Yeah.
The question is that the honourable member have leave to bring in the bill. As many as that opinion say aye. Aye. Of the contrary, no. I think the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Who? That wasn't anything. Was that a nothing?
That was a nothing.
Okay, it was rather a vociferous nothing. Thank you. Who will prepare and bring in the bill?
Sarah Champion, Neil Coyle, Dame Diana Johnson, Ben Lake, Caroline Noakes, Jess Phillips, Liz Saville-Roberts, Mr William Ragg and myself, Madam Deputy Speaker.
Tonia and Antoniazzi.
Police Declaration Bill.
Second reading what day?
Friday the 1st of March.
Friday, 1st of March. Thank you. Thank you.